Hello and welcome to this episode where we'll be covering issue 13 of Warhammer 40k Conquest. We'll be looking at what's in the book. We'll also be going over how to put this bad boy together. Our first terrain. Get in! Stay tuned! So hello and welcome to this episode where we'll be exploring issue 13, and we'll jump right into it with this awesome kit of our first bit of scenery. So we have our Munitorum Armoured Container sections here with the doors, which you can pose open or closed if you wish. We've also got some fuel barrels and ammo crates as well, and it comes with storm bolters which you can mount optionally on top of the container, with the option of removing them or putting them back as you wish, so that you may stack them and get more out of your scenery. But what I really do like about this is that you got all that detail on the inside of the container too. So if you wish to have open doors, then you can paint the inside, or if you want to be creative and do other kinds of buildings or terrain with them. I've seen trains being made out of these. Then you have all this extra detail to play with. So we'll cover building this later on. Now, the issue itself, let's have a look inside. On the first page we cover a little history of the Honour of Ultramar. So this is the strike cruiser which we've been embattled upon between the forces of the Ultramarines and the Death Guard, and it gives us a little bit of history of what it's done, what it does, where it's been servicing, the crew itself as well, where it's normally frequenting. So yeah, it's really got a lot of history to it already. And then we go over the warp. So the warp is a very important part of the fabric of the Warhammer 40,000 universe, because without it, humanity wouldn't have travelled and spread across the stars in the galaxy. But at the same time, you wouldn't have the malevolent powers of chaos. So it's a very twisted thing. It's not very easy to understand either, and but it's both a bonus and a weakness to the Imperium. The Imperium cannot live without it, but at a massive cost. There's also a bit about the navigators and the astropaths. The navigators are quite important because they are genetically engineered thousands of years ago, when man started spreading out across the stars using the warp, so that they could see into the warp without going mad. And these houses have become very infamous and very powerful within the Imperium for that ability. So they are very, very much an integral part of the survival of the Imperium. And then we learn about STC systems. So many wars have happened over STC systems, especially within the Imperium itself. There's different factions within the Imperium who have fought over STC systems because they are so rare and so valuable. Every colony thousands of years ago, before the Age of Strife, had these STC systems as a means to fabricate what they needed, and it was like a standard template construct, so it knew exactly what to make, how to make it, and all you had to do was push a couple of buttons and it made it for you. Now they're very far and few between. Lots of them are lost, some of them have been captured by other alien species or by rogue human factions. The Mechanicum really loves them, and the older the better, because the older they are, the truer to the original designs they will be. But the problem with that is with age comes a lot of degradation as well. So they're very much sought after. And the Mechanicum, of course, they love to hoard their knowledge. And then we go on to armor container building. So we've got all that jargon to go through. So I'll help you with a step-by-step on that, what to do and not to do. You'll notice for this section it's missing the painting part. That's because the painting section has been moved to the following issue, where you'll get the large brush and the Mechanica standard grey paint, so that you can paint your armor container a lot faster. Tutorial missions, so dangerous cargo, so you get to actually fight over the new terrain, which is great, and you get some data sheets as well. Now this is really important because this is bringing you a lot closer to the actual mechanics and layouts of the full rules for Warhammer 40,000, and data sheets look a lot like this. So you'll have the name of the unit, you'll have their stats running along, so movement, web skill, ballistic skill, strength, toughness, wounds, attacks, leadership and saves. You'll have their equipment. Optional equipment is sometimes labelled there as well, and what it does, and then you've got your abilities. So everything is there, so you don't have to flick through loads of different issues when you've got it all there. And you get the data sheets for the other units that you already have so far as well. Nice back cover because you want to keep these in your folder nicely. You've got your Death Guard units, but they only got the Plague Marines and Poxwalkers in here. No special characters so far. And then we learn how to use the terrain in our battles. So climbing up things, line of sight, movement, positioning of your models as well, very important. And then you've got your replay mission, where you fight over the objective, which will be placed upon your container. And the extra rules, which I do like to just throw in straight away, covers using storm bolters. So you can have unarmed troops run up to it and use it, or you can have other troops who've got less effective weapons run up to it and use them, and learn about cover saves as well. So that is that. And then of course you got your large dry brush, Mechanica standard grey. Issue 15, which I should get soon, will be the Biologist Putrefier with some dice, and I believe you get a new mat in there as well to play over. So cannot wait. So hello and welcome back to the building section, where I'll be going through some do's and don'ts on building your container. So first of all, the equipment. You need your mold line remover, your clippers, your plastic glue, and it does say to use some elastic bands to hold all four walls together whilst you are waiting for the glue to dry. But if you don't have any to hand, and you're fortunate enough to have a partner with long hair, then hair bands do the job. So I was fortunate enough that my wife hasn't lost all of hers yet, so I'll be making full use of those. So let's get cracking. So you will need to follow the instructions in the book, so make yourself very familiar with those. Make sure you cut out the pieces that you need by number, so with the flat side against the model. Also do pay attention to these parts. It looks like this is maybe an important part to the model, but it's not. These are the important parts, so try not to clip those, and just clip these bits instead. So you might have to change the angle at which you clip these, but it should come off easily enough, like so. Okay, so once you've clipped out your first three parts, you want to just make sure that you trim down these parts as well. So use your mold line remover and scrape along these parts just to smooth them out. It's not so important on the top part here, but if you want it to sit straight, you definitely want these bits flat, and especially pay extra attention to these parts here. The reason being is because if you have too much sticking out, then when you put it together, so always remember dry fit before you glue, but when you stick it together you'll see that the plastic sort of doesn't go fully together because you got those little bits in the way. See? It's very hard to see here. Just double check by using a lamp and you'll be able to see if it is flush or not. As you can see here, there's some light coming through, so obviously I need to trim just a little bit more just to get that right. So before you start gluing the sides to the base, you've made sure that the gaps are okay and everything. Just try and dry fit the whole lot, all 4 walls, okay? The reason why I say this is because if you glue the base bits together with the side, you might have a bit of a wonky top, it might be too short, it might be too wide. So you kind of want to glue it all together at the same time and make sure you have your elastic bands or hair bands to one side. So you want to make sure it looks a little something like that, okay? So you'll be able to pick it up like that. Right, so it might be easier to hold it on its side like this and then glue the parts together and then put the elastic band around. So let's see if I can do it without screwing up too badly. So I'm going to put the glue in the socket and along the lines. Another great thing about the containers is if you look at any pictures of containers, you'll notice that they are very much bashed and bruised and they look rough as anything. And in the 41st millennium, these containers are going to be even more bad and bruised, especially because they see some fighting as well. So if it is a little wonky, skew-if or gappy, don't worry about it too much because it just adds more character that you can bring out when you're painting. So see that? That's all together. Now I'm putting it on its side like that so that I can glue these bits and the tab parts as well, like so. And just a little bit just on that side because it's slightly curved, so you want it on the inner side ever so slightly, like so. And then you can just gently slide that into place like so. Make sure that you just give it a little squeeze and then you start wrapping hairbands around or elastic bands if you've got them, and this should hold it tightly enough so that when the glue sets it's not going to just fall apart. Alright, so while that's drying, start clipping out your next bits, which it will be the doors, the gun bits and little eagle busts. Right, once you have clipped out the doors, just have a little glue ready on these bits here and here, and down here and here. You won't need to glue any more than that, so don't worry about gluing around the edges here. And this is for if you wish to have your doors closed, like so. See, just sits in there nicely. Alright, so if you do wish to have your door open, then you just find the base hinge, which is here, and you just glue it in there like so. Just have it against a flat surface like that, and it will stay permanently like so. And then you can enjoy the details on the inside, maybe even hide your troops inside. Okay, next up is for these little control panels and for the eagle busts. So what you want to do is for the control panels, just put a little bit of that glue in this gap here, if it will come out. Okay. Feel free to stick your tongue out as you do that. Oh, and just a little drop in there. And then you just slide it into place, like so. See? Nice and snug. And in regards to these busts, very easy. It's literally made to fit. So just a little bit of that glue in that gap there, plonk it in, and there you go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So likewise with the storm bolters, just make sure that you dry fit them. So you see these bits, they will go inside the gap there to hold it in place, like so. And there you have it, you've got yourself a storm bolter. Right, so let's just put a little bit of glue on the inside here, and then stick it all together, like so. Okay, so once you are done with the storm bolters, you will then have the opportunity to use them in your games as mounted weapons on either side. It is important that you don't glue them in, as they are removable on purpose, so you can stack other containers on top. That's why you've got these busts here to help stabilize any stacked containers. So there are rules to use these as well, but just keep them off for safekeeping. Also, the ammo crates, very easy, you just clip them out and neaten them up. There's no need to do anything else. And the barrels, you make sure you have an Aquila side and a skull side, and you just glue them like so, just like that, nice and easy. So that's it really. Once you've done that, you should have 3 barrels, 1 container, and 4 boxes of ammo. And there you have it, you got your first set of terrain ready to be painted and played with. So thanks again for joining me for another episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know down in the comments below what you thought about the Munitorum container and about building it and that. In the next half of this issue, we won't be painting, but we will be going more in depth in using terrain, and we'll have a good look at data sheets as well, so we get familiar with those, as those will become vital in the issues to come. Also, all the social media links are in the description down below, so feel free to follow me on those, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, and show me what you've been up to with your hobby. And that's that. I've got some things in the works, so hopefully that will get sorted soon, and it's all very exciting at the moment. So yeah, I'm loving these. Can't wait for the other 2. See you then.